Welcome to On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. In this gripping YouTube series, Detective Cardinale delves into the most notorious crimes that have captivated America. Which crime will be discussed tonight? Will it be a mass shooting, a murder, a rape, or a bank robbery? Whatever it is, it shocked America. Step into the world of crime investigation as Detective Cardinale uncovers the truth behind the crime. Delve into the web of intrigue surrounding the suspects involved in the crime. Detective Cardinale will analyze their motives, alibis, and connections to the crime. Don't miss out on the thrilling journey of uncovering the truth. On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale goes live on air right now.
Hello, crime junkies! Welcome to an all-new episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. Today, we are on the case of the Beauty Queen Killer. Today, we're talking about the Australian-American Christopher Wilder, who killed many beautiful young women by posing as a model photographer. So today we're going to learn about the Beauty Queen Killer, Christopher Wilder, on this episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. Now, I actually first learned about this case when I was watching ID Discovery, and they were spotlighting the Beauty Queen Killer, Christopher Wilder. And what's so interesting and unique about this story is that Christopher actually lived right here in Boynton Beach, Florida. Many years ago, Christopher lived here in South Florida, Boynton Beach to be specific, and that's where I'm at currently, so that's kind of haunting. Even though that was 30 or 40 years ago, it's haunting to know that a sexual predator turned murderer lived here in Boynton Beach, Florida. So this was a very shocking crime case because it took place in two separate countries, and it rocked two separate countries. It rocked Australia and it rocked America. So let's learn about the Beauty Queen Killer right here, right now, on this episode of Detective Alex Cardinale on the Case. So if you have any questions or you want to share your thoughts in the comments, go ahead and post your thoughts on this case in the comments. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start with what you need to know about the perpetrator, the murderer, and the suspect, Christopher Wilder. He definitely was a wild man. Christopher Wilder was born on March 13th, 1945 in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. He was the oldest of four sons to an American father, Coley Chapman Wilder, a naval officer, and an Australian mother, June Wilder. Wilder nearly died at birth and reportedly almost drowned in a swimming pool at the age of 2. Christopher Wilder married in 1968, but his wife left him after 1 week when Christopher Wilder was taken in for questioning over a series of sexual assaults at Manly Beach. After their divorce, Wilder's ex-wife told law enforcement that he had attempted to seduce both his mother-in-law and sister-in-law and that she had found pictures of young women in their underwear in a briefcase inside his car. She had also admitted to the police that he had twice attempted to kill her. Christopher Wilder immigrated to the United States in 1969 and lived in Boynton Beach, Florida, in an upscale waterfront home 25 miles south of affluent Palm Beach, becoming successful in the real estate business. He frequently traveled to Hawaii and the Bahamas and also developed an interest in photography, which resulted in his converting a bedroom of his home into a dark room. Christopher Bernard Wilder was born on March 13th, 1945, and he died on April 13th, 1984. He's also known as the Beauty Queen Killer and the Snapshot Killer. He is an Australian-American serial killer who abducted at least 12 young women and girls, killing 8 of them during a 6-week cross-country crime spree in the United States in the early 1984. Wilder's series of murders began in Florida on February 26, 1984, and continued across the country through Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Nevada, and California, with attempted abductions in Washington and New York. Christopher Wilder victimized attractive young women, most of whom he would entice by promising to take their pictures. After subduing them, he would torture and rape them before shooting, stabbing with a knife, or strangling them to death. 2 or more of his victims were electrocuted using a makeshift electrical cord. Wow, he actually electrocuted some of his victims. That's crazy. After being named a suspect in the disappearances of his first 2 victims, both of whom were women he knew and whose bodies were never found, Wilder began to target random women, many of whom were abducted from shopping malls. Wilder accidentally killed himself during a struggle with police in New Hampshire on April 13, 1984. So karma got his ass when he was shot and killed by police. Since his death, Christopher Wilder has been suspected in the additional rapes, murders, and disappearances of many other women, including the unsolved 1965 Wanda Beach murders in his native Sydney, Australia, as well as the suspected murder of missing 18-year-old beauty queen Tammy Lynn Leppert. So that's some information on our perpetrator and our suspect, Christopher Wilder. Now, let's learn about all the crimes that Mr. Christopher Bernard Wilder committed here on the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. So, between 1971 and 1975, Christopher Wilder faced various charges related to sexual misconduct. He raped a young woman he had lured into his truck on the pretense of photographing her for a modeling contract. This was to become part of his modus operandi during his later crime spree. Despite several convictions, Wilder was never jailed for any of these offenses. In 1977, a psychologist deemed Wilder a mentally disordered sex offender and not safe except in a structured environment and should be in a resident program, and also noted his need to dominate women and turn them into slaves for his pleasure. He had expressed interest in white slavery and spoke of sexual fantasies, which involved twisting a woman's nipples during sex and slapping and kicking sexual partners. While visiting his parents in Australia in 1982, Christopher Wilder was charged with sexual offenses against two 15-year-old girls whom he had forced to pose nude after luring them from Manly Beach. His parents posted bail and he was allowed to return to Florida to await trial, but court delays prevented his case from ever being heard, as the eventual initial hearing date of April 1984 came after his death. Two other young girls, aged 10 and 12, later identified Wilder from mugshots as the man who had abducted them in Boynton Beach, Florida, in 1983 and forced them to perform oral sex on him. Now, Christopher's first murder was that of 20-year-old Rosario Teresa Gonzalez, who was last seen on February 26, 1984, at the Miami Grand Prix, where she was employed as a spokesmodel at a temporary job distributing samples of aspirin for a pharmaceutical company. Witnesses stated that she left the Grand Prix track between noon and 1 p.m. with a Caucasian man in his 30s. Her blue 1980 Oldsmobile Cutlass was found parked near DuPont Plaza. Wilder was a race car driver who frequented the Miami Grand Prix racetrack and was also at the race where he raced in the IMSA GTU class in a Porsche 911. On March 5th, Wilder's former girlfriend, Miss Florida finalist Elizabeth Ann Kenyon, who was then 23, went missing. She dated Wilder for a period of time and was proposed to by him, but she declined due to their age difference. She is believed to have been last seen with him at a gas station near Miami. Her car was found 6 days later abandoned at the Miami airport. Gonzalez was an aspiring model at the time of her disappearance and had participated in the Miss Florida Beauty contest along with Kenyon. Neither woman's remains have ever been found. On March 18th, Wilder led 21-year-old Teresa Ann Ferguson away from the Marriott Square Mall in Merritt Island, Florida. He murdered Ferguson and dumped her body at Carnival Groves, where it was discovered on March 23rd. Wilder's next victim was 19-year-old Linda Grover from Florida State University, who he abducted from the Governor Square Mall in Tallahassee, Florida, and transported to Banbridge, Georgia on March 20th. She had declined his offer to photograph her for a modeling agency, after which he assaulted her in the mall parking lot. Christopher Wilder tied Grover's hands, wrapped her in a blanket, and put her in the trunk of his car. Grover was taken to Glen Oaks Motel and was raped. Wilder blinded her with a blow dryer and super glue. He applied copper wires to her feet and passed an electrical current through them. Ow, that must have hurt. When she tried to get away, he beat her, but she escaped and locked herself in the bathroom, where she began pounding on the walls. Wilder fled in his car, taking all of Grover's belongings with him. On March 21st, Wilder approached Terry Diane Walden, a 23-year-old wife, mother, and nursing student at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas, about posing as a model. She turned him down, but ran across him again 2 days later. On March 23rd, Christopher Wilder then kidnapped Diane Walden. Christopher Wilder raped her, stabbed her to death, and dumped her body in a canal, where she was found on March 26th. After killing Walden, Wilder fled in his rust-colored 1981 Mercury Cougar. On March 25th, Wilder abducted 21-year-old Suzanne Wendy Logan at the Penn Square Mall in Oklahoma City. Wilder took her 180 miles north to Newton, Kansas, and checked into room 30 of the Interstate 35 Inn. After breakfast the next morning, he drove to Milford Reservoir, 90 miles northeast of Newtown, near Junction City, Kansas, where he stabbed her to death and dumped her body under a cider tree. Wilder then took 18-year-old Cheryl Lynn Bonaventura captive in Grand Junction, Colorado on March 29th. They were seen together at a diner in Silverton, where they told staff they were heading in for Las Vegas with the stop in Durango on the way. On March 30th, they were seen at the Four Corners Monument, after which Wilder checked into the Page Boy Motel in Page, Arizona. Wilder shot and stabbed Bonaventura to death around March 31st near the Kanab River in Utah, but her body was not found until May 3rd. Wilder killed 17-year-old Michelle Lynn Korfman, an aspiring model who disappeared from a 17 magazine cover model competition at the Meadows Mall in Las Vegas on April 1st. A photograph was taken of Wilder stalking her at the competition. Her body remained undiscovered near a Southern California roadside rest stop until May 11th and was not identified until mid-June via dental x-rays. On April 4th, near Torrance, California, Wilder photographed 16-year-old Tina Marie Risco before abducting her and driving her to El Centro, where he assaulted her. Wilder apparently believed that Risco would be of use in helping him to get other victims, so he kept her alive and took her with him as he traveled back east through Prescott, Arizona, Joplin, Missouri, and Chicago, Illinois. At this point, Christopher Wilder had been on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitive list since the second week of April. He and Risco went to Maryville, Indiana on April 10th, where she helped him abduct 16-year-old Donette Sue Wilt at the South Lake Mall. Wilder raped Wilt several times as Risco drove to New York. Near Penn Yan, Wilder took Wilt into the woods and attempted to suffocate her before stabbing her twice and leaving her. Wilt managed to tie a pair of jeans around herself and flag down help. A truck driver named Charlie Larson took her to Soldiers and Sailors Hospital in Penn Yan. Christopher Wilder had doubled back and returned to the spot where he left her to make sure she was dead. He panicked once seeing she had fled. Following surgery, Wilt survived, and she recuperated at Soldiers and Sailors Hospital. She told local police that Christopher Wilder was heading for Canada. At the Eastfield Mall in Victor, New York, Wilder forced 33-year-old Beth Ellen Dodge into his car and had Risco follow him in Dodge's Pontiac Firebird. After a short drive, Wilder shot Dodge and dumped her body in a gravel pit. Risco and himself then drove the Firebird to Logan Airport in Boston, Massachusetts, where he bought her a ticket to Los Angeles. Christopher Wilder then headed north, and in Beverly, Massachusetts, he attempted to abduct a woman at gunpoint, but was very unsuccessful. Christopher Wilder is one of 3 suspects in the unsolved Wanda Beach murders. The murders of 15-year-olds Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sherrock at Wanda Beach near Sydney on January 11th, 1965, because of his similarity to a suspect sketch, and that 2 years before the murders, he had been convicted of a gang rape on a Sydney beach. Now, on April 13th, 1984, Christopher Wilder got his karma. On April 13th, 1984, Christopher Wilder stopped at Vic's Getty service station in Colebrook, New Hampshire, to ask directions to Canada. 2 New Hampshire state troopers, Leo Jellison and Wayne Forter, approached Wilder, who retreated to his car to arm himself with a gun. He had armed himself with a Colt Python .357 Magnum. Jellison was able to grab Wilder from behind, and in the scuffle, 2 shots were fired. The first bullet hit Wilder and exited through his back and into Jellison. The second bullet hit Wilder in the chest, and Christopher Wilder died on the scene. The police officer who was struck by a bullet, Jellison, was seriously wounded, but he recovered and survived and returned to full duty as a police officer. A copy of the novel The Collector by John Follows, in which a man keeps a woman in his cellar against her will until she dies, was found among his possessions after his death. Christopher Wilder was cremated in Florida, leaving a personal estate worth more than $7 million. In June 1986, a court-appointed arbitrator ruled that the after-tax balance was to be divided among the families of his victim. And that is the beauty queen killer, the snap killer, Christopher Wilder. So Christopher Wilder is known as the beauty queen killer and the snapshot killer. And he committed a series of crimes ranging from gang rape to pedophilia to being a sexual predator and raping to murder. A very, very sick and twisted Australian American. And I'm glad he got justice by being shot and killed by police officers. I'm glad he did not face any jail time. I'm glad the police officers shot and killed this sick individual. So, what are your thoughts on the beauty queen killer? What are your thoughts on Christopher Wilder? Let me know in the comments what you think of this sick, twisted individual. Well, on that note, I want to thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed learning about the beauty queen killer, Australian American Christopher Wilder. On the next episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, we are going to talk about what was trending since last week. On the next episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, we are going to talk about Nickelodeon and the pedophile Brian Peck. That'll be on the next episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. Until then, stay safe, everyone. If you see a crime happening, never be afraid to call 911. Please like, comment, and share this episode if you enjoyed it. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale, for more amazing crime episodes. And to see my previous episodes of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, go to my YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale, and go to my playlist On the Case to see my previous episodes of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. Good night, everyone, from Green Acres, Florida. Stay safe and report 911 if you see any crimes taking place. Good night, everybody.
Get ready for Easter, everyone. On the next Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale, it's an Easter-themed Saturday Live since it will be held on Easter Eve. Live Saturday, March 30th, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It's Happy Easter Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale. Chef Alex will have Easter dinner tips and Easter recipes. The animal of the week will be the bunny, aka rabbit. Get ready to learn about bunnies just in time for Easter. Sergeant Slaughter will have facts on Easter, Universal Studios, and Carvel ice cream. Oasis Aquatics featured fish will be the true freshwater tiger moray eel. Aquascape Online featured fish is the wolf fish. Aqua Alex's featured fish is a saltwater fish known as a foxface rabbitfish. Let's recap March and discuss Easter gift ideas with Alex Cardinale. Plus, more best WrestleMania matches as WrestleMania draws closer, Yankees Spotlight, Karens of the Week, and so much more. Happy Easter everyone! Happy Easter Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale live Saturday, March 30th, 2024 at 9 p.m. Eastern 6 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale. Thank you very much for watching this livestream of The Real Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you all for your patronage for the last 10 years. It's going to be incredible riding into the future with more awesome live streams and videos. Aqua Alex Cardinale, Chef Alex Cardinale, WWE fan Alex Cardinale, Detective Alex Cardinale, and The Real Alex Cardinale would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this live stream, please smash that like button. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button and become a legendary viewer and a legendary Cardinale. Check out The Real Alex Cardinale on social media. Facebook Alex Cardinale, American Alex. Instagram instagram.com/Alex Cardinale 93. Fish keepers, please join our amazing Facebook fish keeping group Aquarium Obsession. Check out and support Oasis Aquatics, our amazing supporter since July of 2023. www.oasisaquaticsnj.com. Follow Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram. Have a good night and thanks for watching. Stay legendary.